Welcome back. The program is still Good Morning Abuja, and yes, what an amazing time we've been having so far. It's really good to be here to share in the quality of conversations that we've been having since this program started. Uh, and in keeping with the tempo of the program, we have someone who we have had before on the program, but this time we're having again, and uh, I would say it's a pleasure to introduce this brother, this comrade, this cultural enthusiast, this uh, public affairs analyst, this advocate for good governance. I'm talking about the one and only G Code, Gaza Mark Outer.
Thank you very much for
Very
having
good
me.
morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome to Good Morning Abuja.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Yes, G Code is a big name. G
honestly.
Code is somebody whose name is known, especially when it has to do with the Baggy people and the
Ooh,
indigenous natives of
okay,
Abuja.
okay.
And this morning, what we are discussing is about the contributions
Okay.
of the natives of Abuja to the growth and development of Nigeria.
I see. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
So, G Code, you are somebody in the forefront of anything that has to do with advancing the welfare, the rights, the issues around the
Mm.
natives of Abuja. Let's share your thoughts now. Why this part and what is it about?
Well, I'm of the firmest belief that what we do in life echoes in eternity. And most times, we're the sum collection of all the activities that we embark on in life. And then it's up to history to judge if what we have done is the right thing or the wrong thing. But I always say that if we're right, may history be kind to us. But if we are wrong, then let our children be the judge.
Mm.
Now, in a country that had been amalgamated
Mm.
by the Europeans, and then subsequently we had our independence, a lot of indigenous communities have made their sacrifices towards the development of Nigeria and for Nigeria to achieve its own set goals. And we know the contributions of those up in the south, the contributions of the north, and then the contributions of the people in the north central. When Murtala Mohammed set up the committee headed by Justice Abuja to come down to the north central to look for a place that should inhibit the FCT when it was being moved from Lagos, they had a lot of things in mind. And one of them was, most importantly, those people should be peaceful, humane, and love development. And that is what characterizes the people of Abuja. You know, and to juxtapose that with the question that you just asked, what happens when a people sacrifice their land? Because I always say, without land, we can't even be having this conversation. We're seated on somewhere having this conversation.
Mm.
And that is the importance of land. Land could be a lot of things to a lot of people. Land could be a means of livelihood. Land could be for spiritual purposes. And just given to the fact that anytime I pass the Aso Rock, I always know that there are a lot of umbilical cords of indigenous people that are buried there. So now you see there are a lot of people who share this spiritual connection with that particular place, but the place no longer belongs to them. So these kind of people, how do you bring them into the developmental strides of Abuja and Nigeria at large? So I think we should, if we start having this conversation from this particular angle, I think everybody will have a very clear understanding. For example, I quoted the other time, last Christmas, on the 25th of December to be exact, if you had gone around Abuja, you would have seen all the streets were quiet, you know, and calm. Everyone had gone back to his village to just go and enjoy either the ambience or the cultural, or whatever it is. So now that leaves us with the question. The host community, where did they go to? You understand? So these are some of the sacrifices that the host community has made. And it is only proper for them to just ask for inclusion, you know, in terms of governance. I even proposed jokingly, but I think they can look into that. Just for the fact that the people of Abuja sacrificed their land for the FCT to be situated, then I think if the government should write a budget, big budget, 5% of that budget should be given to the people of Abuja.
Okay.
So that in as much as there's development ongoing, but the people now will guarantee the survival and the preservation of that development.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, no, you talked about inclusion. Now, let's look at how you think the indigenes can be included in the governance structure of the region. How do you think it can be done?
Well, it's very, very simple. I'll tell you something for free today. Anyone who carries the indigene certificate of Abuja, each time, for example, he goes to a university to apply or look for admission, they would first of all want to determine what state is he from, because Abuja is not a state. And if you're giving admissions based on that, then automatically you don't have a state. So where do you come from? So you see, the question of identity has to be tackled.
Okay, sorry to ask. Before Abuja, what states were you, when they asked you which state are you from before the creation of the federal capital? Which states?
During the military regimes, most of the military men who started balkanizing what was the South and the Northern Protectorates then, they brought just a couple of states, and then for the purpose of inclusion, they would split some states. For the purpose of inclusion, they would split some states. For example, there used to be Benue Plateau.
Yes.
Yeah.
But today we have 3 states from Benue Plateau. We have Benue, we have Plateau, and we have Nassau. But you know that the FCT was carved out from some of these states. There is an inclusion of Niger State, there is an inclusion of Kogi, there is an inclusion of Nasarawa State
Nasarawa
and
State.
Kaduna. Now that was what formed what is now the
Now
FCT.
FCT.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we talk about inclusion,
So, but which state were you people before then?
That's what
that's
we
what for example, I can talk about the Gbagi man.
Okay,
The
where?
Gbagi man is in all these states I've told you.
Oh.
And we're around the borders.
Oh,
So it is
okay.
safe to say that a state should have even been carved for a Gbagi man. And then, of course, our own indigenous brothers too. It
Okay.
should have been carved.
Wow.
But since we have found ourselves here and we're talking about inclusion, we're not just talking about inclusion in terms of governance. You understand? There are other business activities that are
Well, these thoughts are very
Wow,
interesting
wow.
thoughts, and there's a lot there.
Lots.
But very quickly, I think we need to take a short break.
Yes. And when we return, we'll begin to look at
when
the
we return
challenges.
from that break,
Yeah.
we will continue this conversation
Honestly.
because it's becoming really interesting. Let's take a short break now. When we come back, the program Good Morning Abuja continues.
This is still Good Morning Abuja. Welcome back. Now we've been talking about the inclusiveness of the natives of Abuja, okay, in the FCT. All right, and we have, an advocate, someone who has passion for his people, who has been speaking to make sure that his people are well treated in their own native land. So we'll continue now. Let's look at the challenges. And from your own opinion, what do you think can be done? Okay, so as you give us the challenges, also talk to the corporate organizations here, talk to the government. So let's do that.
Well, if we were to look at the challenges, this is how I'd like us to approach it. You see, in governance, the government is supposed to talk to the people and not talk at the people.
Oh,
You understand?
there's a difference.
There's a very huge difference. So if you're to talk to a people, you and I are sitting and we're having
It's a chat.
conversation. I'm
Becomes a
coming from
chat.
my
Yeah.
own perspective, and you're coming from your own perspective. For example, if the government was to come here and say, "Oh, we're going to put a borehole there," and then the government in its budget has already budgeted a borehole there. But if the government will talk to the the people will say, oh no, the umbilical cords of our forefathers used to be buried there. So you cannot get any meaningful yield from that place. Why don't you put it there where we had designated that water can come from? So you see there is communication going on. And so what I'm saying is, I think by inclusion, the government should take a look at this question that I pose. If a people have sacrificed their land, what do you think is adequate compensation? Let's not even use the word compensation. I hate the word compensation, but I prefer the word appreciation.
Appreciation, yeah.
How do we appreciate these people? So in terms of appreciation now, I come and tell you from the bottom of my heart that I thank you for this gesture. And just the word thank you alone, it means I acknowledge that you have made a sacrifice. And then when we start talking about developmental strides, we talk about the FCT housing most of the corporate headquarters of most of the ministries, the agencies, the departments, most of the businesses in Nigeria. Apart from Lagos, that has a little accommodation of some of the corporate headquarters of important organizations, Abuja houses most of the corporate headquarters.
Yeah.
So how can we bring the host community into the administration of some of these agencies? We have a lot of them that are graduates from the university, but we have a lot of them too who do not want to work. We have a whole lot of them who are into their ideation cocoons and they would want to come out, but they need support. How do we support this kind of people? How do we bring a bridge between the market woman and the markets? Now, these are some of the conversations that we ought to start having. And if we know that there is a market woman who, because there is no road that can help her bring her goods to the market, and we know that 70% of her perishables perish even before she gets it, how can we help the market woman? Now, the government will calculate and say, do we put cottage industries close to the market woman, or do we put roads and bridges that will help her come to the market? So these are some of the inclusions that we want. We do not ask for too much. We just want to be part of the governance. And then it is only when we're part of governance that we can tell you where our challenges are and how easily you can best solve them. And that is the only way. That is the only way that you know that you can achieve this. I'll tell you something, but jokingly. But you know, sometimes those who are into literature will tell you that the use of satire sometimes helps you to even send your message
across.
There was something that happened in one of the communities, and it was about they were contention for land. And one of the host community members, whom his own ancestors had been there, they had been transferring from one generation to the other. And for a businessman who had just come into the community, he said, okay, let's judge it this way. He removed his shoes, he picked the sand from the ground and he poured it back. And he said, let's contend on the matter. But if you say that you are the rightful owner of the property, very well. But if you say that, if you say we are the owners, fine. But if you say you are the owner, then let the ancestors judge. But some companies do not know that they do not yield maximum profit because of some of these activities. On a lighter note.
That's a serious one.
Yes.
Indirectly saying, I won't be the judge, let the owners of the soil judge.
And of course, you know,
Thank you so much.
some people and their land are always connected. They are always interconnected.
There's this what will I call it? Not letting go.
No.
Because this is where you've been. This is
All over the world.
Yes.
We have seen battles over land and everything. The case in point is Israel and the battle at Gaza. And all of that, the resistance and all of that.
For us to have a conducive environment for our businesses, for whatever we do, we need peace and we also need love. You've heard it all from him. You can see he's talking with passion because he loves his people and he wants peace and he wants growth in this land. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
Keep
you very
doing
much
what
for having
you are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. So he has said it. Inclusiveness is what they are asking for the natives of Abuja in the FCT. And they are also saying that with this, they will be able to participate in the growth of the economy of Nigeria. Okay, this is still Good Morning Abuja. We'll be right back after this break. Please don't go anywhere.